Okay, ladies and germs. Well, a lot of people, on at least on Twitter, no, and Instagram too. They sent me like three people sent me ESPN's list. On Twitter, a lot of people sent me the list. They want to know what I think about it, and I have to preface everything I'm about to say with this. I don't take issue with the list because I don't follow it. I don't abide by it. I've said it many times that what a pound for pound list is more or less intended to be is an assessment of skill. How skill is assessed depends on the person that's making the list. Like, what are you using to evaluate the skills of the fighter? Because the basic idea is the most skilled fighter ends up at the top. That's supposed to be the basic bones, bare bones of a pound for pound list. And, I don't go by ESPN's list or Ring Magazine's or Transnationals or BoxRec because I told you many times in many videos over the years that the logic collapses on itself. ESPN's list, the logic used in it, it isn't logic. It's a popularity contest. It's a tally of votes based on an editorial panel. It's not actually evaluating each fighter by the same unit of measure. It's not doing that. What they do is they get a couple of people together and they get them to vote as far as who they think should go where. And if it's based on a tally of votes, it's not an evaluation of skill, it's a popularity contest. A lot of people are taking issue with Usyk not being number one. I don't really think it's a big deal that ESPN has Terence Crawford at number one now, now that they've removed Canelo from the number one spot. I don't really take issue with that. If you have either Terence Crawford or Usyk as your number one pound for pound fighter, either one works. Either one has a good enough argument that, yeah, you could actually have either one as number one. The more egregious things about the list, I would say, what is more egregious or what is harder to reconcile is how Usyk could be ranked behind fighters that he's more accomplished than. He's more accomplished than Errol Spence Jr. He's more accomplished than Tyson Fury. Yes, he's more accomplished than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is not a two-division champion. Tyson Fury has never been undisputed. He never held all the belts at the same time. He beat Vladimir for 3, retired, let those 3 belts go. Then he came back and won 1. But he was never undisputed. Alexander Usyk was undisputed at cruiserweight, and he actually defended the undisputed championship at least once against Tony Bellew. Tyson Fury never did that. Also, he's a 2-division champion. He holds 3 belts at this time in the heavyweight division. These are all things that Tyson Fury never did. He beat more world champions than Tyson Fury. Also, Alexander Usyk beat 3 champions at cruiserweight and 1 at heavyweight. So how can Tyson Fury be ranked ahead of him, especially if Tyson Fury is supposed to be retired? Not only is he not as accomplished as Usyk, he's supposed to be retired. These are the things that people want me to address. And I told you, my list it works a certain way. For starters, career heavyweights don't belong on pound for pound lists. Most people don't understand the concept of pound for pound. That's why it's a recurring theme. That's why it constantly has to be explained that you don't rank a career heavyweight, a fighter who debuted as a heavyweight and campaigned as a heavyweight. You don't rank a career heavyweight on a pound for pound list because it defeats the purpose of making the list. You're measuring the smaller fighters against the heavyweight. So he's not even supposed to be on there. We already know that in a real life setting, due to the imposing size and physical attributes, the heavyweight will win in a real life setting. So you don't need to rank him on the list. What you're attempting to measure with the list is skill. That just because he's bigger, does that actually mean he's better? Does he throw a better jab? Does he feint better? Does he move better? Does he disguise his punches better? Does he have better feet? Does he have better pivots and shifts? These are the things that the list is actually supposed to be trying to measure. That even though the fighter isn't as big as the heavyweight, he's still more skilled than the heavyweight. That's why there's that question. If the smaller fighter were the same size as the bigger fighter, given all the skills that they display, would they beat the bigger fighter? And usually the answer is yes, because the smaller fighters exhibit more skills than a bigger fighter. You know, in the heavyweight division, you could be fucking losing a fight and one punch ends the fight. You know, that's what happened in Dillian White versus Derek Chisora, the rematch. You know, Dillian was getting moved around by Derek until he caught him with that left hook and finished the fight. The same thing happened between Derek Chisora and Carlos Takam. Carlos Takam was giving him the business, but Derek Chisora, one shot, man, fight is over. So you're not actually supposed to put career heavyweights on a pound-for-pound list. You're supposed to measure those fighters against the heavyweight. You're not supposed to rank them among the heavyweight. Like, it doesn't work like that. And I think that a lot of people, a lot of dick suckers, the reason that they put career heavyweights on there is because that's just their favorite fighter. That you feel like it's wrong for them to not be recognized when the list is not for them. I don't know why this is so hard for so many people to understand, but if you're putting career heavyweights on a pound-for-pound list, you might as well not make the list. Yes, you might forget it. You ain't even got to make it. It's not like I'll give you an example, because I think this confuses a lot of people. If you have a fighter like Usyk, who is not a career heavyweight, he moved up to heavyweight, he was a cruiserweight. If you have a fighter like Michael Moorer or Evander Holyfield, a fighter like Michael Spence, that, yeah, they ended up going to heavyweight, but they didn't start there. They eventually moved up there. These are the fighters that you can rank on a pound-for-pound list. These are the guys, yeah, you could put them in there. Why? Because they're showing and proving that even though they're naturally smaller fighters, they can fight those heavyweights. Why? Because they're just as skilled, if not more skilled. Like Michael Spence, he fought Larry Holmes for 30 rounds. He's obviously not your average smaller fighter, because your average smaller fighter would get knocked the fuck out by Larry Holmes. But Michael Spence fought Larry 2 times. They fought for 30 rounds. Both fights went the distance. That's how good Michael Spence was, that even though he's narrower and lankier and leaner, he can box with him. You know, that's the skill. Because of the skill, that's what that is. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't put a heavyweight on there because it don't make sense to put the heavyweight on there. You're supposed to measure the smaller fighter against the heavyweight. Listos palos chingasos. Ray Jackson not getting up, Jim. He not getting up. Caleb Plant Twitter fingers ain't pillow fisted. Hey, he showed more fight with Ray than he showed with Canelo. I'm just playing. He's tired of the abuse, and I don't blame him. There's a difference between having an opinion and imparting one. You can feel however you feel in the comfort of your own home. You can say whatever you want to say on your YouTube channel, on your page, but what you can't do is talk to people any old kind of way. And that's what I see they be doing on Twitter. You could feel that he got his ass beat, but you don't walk up to the man and say, yo, you got your ass beat, unless you want to get your ass beat. That's just fucking rude, but that's Twitter. And the shit is, a lot of them cats is either my age or older. Like, these is, like, y'all too old for the shit y'all be doing. But that's why he deserved that. Like, yo, you too old for the shit you be doing. And jump from cruiser to heavy is biggest in boxing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a difference between having an opinion, which you're entitled to have, and imparting an opinion. You know, you can have an opinion on a fight. You can have an opinion on a fighter. But what you can't do is pester people with that opinion. You know, you can't just talk to somebody any old kind of way. Like, bro, that's wild disrespectful. But that's what Twitter is. A concentration of disrespectful individuals that know they can get away with it, so that's what they do. Anyway, back to the pound-for-pound list. I actually think it's more egregious that they have Usyk ranked behind Errol, who is nowhere near as accomplished as Usyk. You haven't fought as many champions as Usyk. You haven't been a champion in more weight classes than Usyk. What the fuck makes you more skilled than him? And this is where people disagree. What are you using to evaluate the skills? Now, y'all know how my list works. My list is an open book. It's easy to understand, and the logic is solid. The logic sticks. But other people's lists, they don't make sense, which is why I don't like to bother with other people's lists. If you want to have Errol as number 5 or man, that's your fucking prerogative. I ain't worried about your list. I ain't worried about ESPN's list. But a lot of people wanted me to talk about this. Ring's criteria is how it should be, even when it doesn't line up how you like. Yeah, Usyk should not be ranked behind Errol Spence Jr. because Errol Spence Jr. has not done nothing that Usyk hasn't done already. A lot of Errol's fans say that, it's a big deal that he went to Sheffield and took the title from Brook. Big fucking deal. Usyk did that for every belt he ever won. Doesn't that make him more skilled than Errol? By your unit of measure. If you're telling me that Errol is special because he won a title on the road, what does that make Usyk for winning every title on the road? He went to Latvia for Bivol. He went to Russia for Gassiev. He went to Poland for Glavatsky. He went to the UK for Anthony Joshua. Every title he ever won, he won on the road. Errol only won one title on the road. So if you're running around saying that that's what makes Errol special, or somehow that's special, ain't Usyk special for doing it more times than him? You say, Errol is unified. So what? So is Usyk. But he's not just unified. He's undisputed. He was undisputed before. Ring Magazine and lineal. Errol ain't lineal now. Never held the Ring Magazine title. So what precedence is there for anyone to say that Errol should go ahead of Usyk? By all rights, he shouldn't. But because people are hypocrites and because people are emotional, that's why you see that. Because based on facts and stats, it doesn't actually make sense. It really doesn't. And I would say that his victory over Bivol is better than any victory he has over any champion in the welterweight division. That's a victory that's aging well. The fighters that Errol beat, what did they go on to do? Nothing. Brook didn't go on to become a champion after Errol beat him, right? No. Neither did Sean. Ugas, you just fought Ugas. Now, Bivol, after he gave Usyk a lot of problems when they fought, they had a great fight. It was a competitive fight. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Even after that, he showed that he's a bad motherfucker because he won a belt again. And he won the World Boxing Super Series, the third season of it or whatever. The second or third season, whatever. It was the third season, I believe it was. Yeah, it was the third season. The second season. Whatever it was, he fucking won the shit. Right? He showed that, I still got it. I'm still that motherfucking dude. Bivol did that. Usyk's victory over Maris Bivol is aging better than any victory Errol has over any of the high-profile fighters that he fought. It's aging better. If you want to go by that metric, that dude that he beat is still a champion today. The guys you fought, what are they doing? What are they doing? You're not more accomplished than that guy. That's a matter of fact. You haven't been a champion in more weight classes. You were never lineal. You were never Ring Magazine. You were never undisputed. You just now getting 3 belts. Bro, he already did that and then some. But let the people at ESPN do the list. It's a popularity contest, which is why I don't take issue with it. I just don't go by it. Bro, y'all list ain't nothing but a bunch of motherfuckers that y'all like. Y'all not even being objective, because how could you objectively rank Errol ahead of Usyk? What the fuck did Errol do that Usyk didn't do? Errol's still trying to do shit that Usyk did already. Oh, you trying to be undisputed? He did that already, fam. He did that shit years ago. Hasn't taken Usyk 25 years and 30-plus fights to become undisputed at cruiser and unified at heavyweight. Spence still in one division, and that's what I mean. That the shit, it doesn't, you can't really make it make sense. In what way, what unit of measure are you using to say that Errol is showing more skills than Usyk? We don't know that Errol's going to be a 2-division champion, but we do know that Usyk is a 2-division champion. He went up there with Anthony Joshua, who the bookies favored to beat him, and he beat Anthony Joshua. We don't know if Errol ever going to do something like that, but right now, you ranking Errol as if he did that. And I already know why you doing it. American media is a joke, fam. It's a joke. Bro, all y'all do is y'all just pick and choose when y'all want shit to make sense. If it's Vasyl Lomachenko, oh, he's a multi-weight champion. That's why. Okay, but what about Usyk? So is he. So is he. The same things that worked for Lomachenko should work for Usyk. Oh, Lomachenko 3-division champion, right? Right. And y'all had him at number 1. So why would Usyk get the short end of the stick? It just doesn't make sense. That's why I'm like, look, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'm mad I'm not mad. I don't go by their list. If it wasn't for people sending me their list, I wouldn't even be talking about that shit. Keep to be real with you. Like, I don't follow their list. I'm like, y'all shit don't never make no motherfucking sense. You got a career heavyweight on there, even though pound for pound list ain't for no career heavyweight. You got fucking Usyk behind Errol. What the fuck? Bro, Kazuto Ioka is a 4-division champion. And because the editors at ESPN don't know that, that shows y'all not doing y'all job. That shows y'all really don't cover boxing. You don't cover boxing. You cover a brand of boxing. You don't cover boxing because Kazuto Ioka is more accomplished than Errol Spence. But the viewers don't know that because you don't tell them. What you gonna tell me, that Spence is more accomplished than Nonito Donaire? I have a question. Do you think Spence still gonna be here at 39 years old, knocking motherfuckers out and winning belts? He already not a multi-weight champion like Nonito. We already know that. You only been a champion at one weight. So we already know that. But he been a champion at multiple weights. And at 38 or 39 years old, he's still out here beating the shit out of people that ain't never been beat. Ubali was unbeaten. Raymond Caballo was unbeaten. Is Errol going to do that when he 39? I know he ain't doing it now, but let y'all tell it. He deserve a spot more than Nonito. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make, like, if you really sat down and thought about it, right? Fuck your favorites, because look, my favorite is Terrence Crawford, but I didn't rank him at number 1 because he's my favorite. That don't make no sense. That shit does not make no sense. They don't cover boxing. I think that's the most concise way I could put it. They don't cover boxing. For God's sake, they still ranking Delphine Passoon and Christina Hammer as pound for pound. Like, how the fuck are they pound for pound? How? What about Hannah Gabriels? What about Yuli Hang Luna? Like, it's mad other people. Y'all don't cover boxing. Y'all cover brands, because that's how fragmented the coverage is. If you was covering boxing, that mean if it's a boxer in Japan that's beating the shit out of somebody, you let the people know about the fucking shit. You only letting them know about Inoue because Top Rank promote him. People don't know who Kazuto Ioka is because y'all don't talk about him, even though he a 4-weight champion. You telling me that a 4-weight champion don't deserve a spot, even though he really beat champions? He really did that. It ain't like, oh, he just won vacant titles at 4 weights. No, he beat motherfuckers. That's why I don't go by their list. Like, they list is, I don't go by their list. Like, bruh, fuck I look like going by y'all. Y'all don't even make sense. The funniest shit is they treat pound for pound list as if it's a popularity contest, when the real reason you make a pound for pound list is because the little guys aren't as popular. Or at least they weren't. The little guys were not as popular as the heavyweights. Most of the time, heavyweight boxing was getting most of the coverage way back when. The pound for pound list was intended to shed light on the smaller fighters that ain't getting all that coverage, that ain't getting all that love. It was actually for them. It's supposed to really be the opposite of a popularity contest. But here in 2022, everybody does shit backwards. They showered in shit. I love how Korean Cassell told Arum he can't pretend Bivol is a nobody now and make the winner fight him. Well, we gonna see what it do, man. We gonna see what it do with that shit, because it's a lot to that shit, you know what I mean? It's a lot to that shit. It's a couple of things that might have to happen before it actually becomes about undisputed at 175. We got to see what Canelo going to do. Then if he don't fight Bivol, we got to see what happened between Zerto and Bosel. I think he going to knock out Bosel. But after that, then we got to see what happens between Bivol and Zerto. We got to see what happens between Arthur and Joe. Then the winner of that fight, we got to see what happened with the winner of Anthony Yard. It's mad shit that got to happen. It's real shit, yo. Like, look, man, I don't go by their list. So when people send me the list out of respect because they're requesting my opinion, I'll give them my opinion. But I don't go by their list. Like, look, they got Juan Francisco Estrada on there, right? Juan is accomplished, but Juan is also inactive. Juan hasn't fought in over a year. How you got a dude sitting there taking up space? He ain't fought in a year. He ain't fought in over a year. It's other people that could be there. You could put Stephen Ford in there. Why not? He got 2 belts. He fighting. He just fought. He about to fight again. The shit don't make no sense. And and the other thing is Juan is not unified anymore. That's the other thing. Juan don't have 2 world titles. He got 1, the WBA. He don't have the WBC no more. Bam Rodriguez got that shit. Yes, like, look, they got Vasyl Lomachenko on there. Motherfuckers not gonna like me for saying this, but why is Vasyl Lomachenko on there again? Explain it to me. For what? Do he have a belt? Is he a champion? Nah, right? So then why he on there? Because you like him. That's why. I give him the same energy I give everybody else. You need a belt to be on mine. First and foremost, you need a belt just to be considered. Just having a belt ain't gonna get you on the list. But for me to even fucking look at you, you gotta be a champion. Because everybody on my list is a champion. And everybody on my list has fought in the last 12 months or will fight. You got a dude that ain't fought in over a year. You got Vasyl Lomachenko. You still got him on there because y'all still doing y'all same old favoritism shit. Y'all still doing that. Y'all still doing that. The shit don't make no motherfucking sense. That shit don't make no sense to me. Then you got Dimitri Bivol. Peep this shit. This might be a little bit complex. You have Dimitri Bivol, right? And rest assured, Dimitri is going to be on my list, but not the way that they have him. Dimitri will be at the bottom of my list. Why? Are you a 2-division champion like Shakur Stevenson? No. Did you beat as many world champions as Shakur Stevenson? No. He beat 2. How many did you beat? None. You didn't beat no champions. When you fought Canelo at 175, you didn't win no belt from him. He was challenging you for a belt. So why are you here? You here because you beat a pound-for-pound fighter. Cool. But when I compare your resume to the other people that are on this list, they done more shit than you did. So you got to go at the bottom because your claim to fame is beating a smaller fighter that moved up in weight. It's not unifying a division. It's not I beat this champ. No. It's because you beat a smaller fighter who was moving up in weight. So until you add to that, you on the bottom. How am I rank you ahead of him when he's a 2-division champion? He showed he got it at 2 weight classes. He showed he got it at 26 and at 30. He beat Jamel Herring. He beat Oscar Valdez. You beat Canelo. Cool. But though he beat guys at his weight, you beat a little dude that was coming up. And you admitted that yourself. Now, I'm not knocking Bivol. I'm not knocking him. But that's why my list is the way it is. You have to account for the size. That if you beat a little dude moving up in weight, that ain't the same as you beating Better Beef. Nah, it's not. Better Beef is a champion. He proven at 175. He a unified champion. He beat the fuck out of Usyk. He about to beat the shit out of Joe. It's different. You have to account for the size. Boxing is literally the only sport I know. When I was on my baseball shit, when I was on my NFL shit, I never had to have no goofy ass conversations. But boxing is the only sport where you're going to end up having goofy ass conversations over and over. Is it my imagination? Or is Dimitri Bivol a naturally bigger fighter than Canelo? Like, yes, he is. Is it my imagination? Or was that Canelo Alvarez's 4th weight class? Yes, it was. Okay, what was that to Dimitri? His first. He's never fought anywhere else. So how am I put him ahead of people that showed they got it at more than 1 weight? Because you beat a little dude? It don't work like that. I'm telling you, motherfuckers don't like it, but that's the way, that's how I do it. You don't got to swear by me. Go by ESPN. If you like their list, go by ESPN's list. Or go by Ring Magazine's list. or go by TBRB or BoxRec. Or if anything, make your own fucking criteria. I don't lose sleep over these fucking lists. I have my own. And the only reason I'm even talking about it is because people ask me to talk about it. So I talk about it. You know what I mean? I've been on Twitter for 2 weeks, and the only thing I could tell you for certain is that I cannot make fun of Chris Mannix anymore. He's a product of the times, not a symptom of the problem with modern boxing. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They don't treat boxing the way that baseball gets treated, feel me? Like, I'm going to say that the coverage that baseball get, you don't see a lot of just weird-ass shit in MLB. You don't really see a lot of weird-ass shit in the coverage of the NFL, or the NBA, or the NHL. Nah, you don't see. Boxing is the only sport where you see a lot of just dumbass, weird shit. Motherfuckers really gonna sit there and act like Canelo not a low-ass man. That man is 5'7" if he ain't 5'6". That is a low-ass man. And he tried to go after a big dude. Y'all, because y'all hate him, because y'all got y'all tribalism shit going on, it's like, yo, like, it's too much weird shit in boxing. That's why I try to stay away from that shit. Like, yo, well, it's too much weird shit. Y'all really gonna sit here and act like they was this? He didn't outsize him. He outskilled. Bro, they not the same size. Stop fucking acting stupid. They are not the same fucking size. The same way Canelo punched people in their arms at super middleweight, it don't have the same effect at light heavyweight. Why? Because the people are bigger. What are you, a fucking moron? You need somebody to explain that to you. The same shit that he did to Callum Smith, the shit that Rocky Marciano used to do that. I'm going to punch him in his arms to break his guard so he'll drop his hands and I can hit him in his face. Canelo do that at 168 and it worked. But when he went up to 75 and he tried to do that to Bivol, it didn't work. Why? Because of what the fuck I told you. He's a naturally bigger guy who's more durable. I seen that man get hit right in his face by Joe Smith Jr. and he didn't go down. And I said, even though I didn't pick him to win, I said, Canelo not going to knock him out. This shit going the distance. Canelo is not going to knock this dude out. It's different. That's 175. And you really have, he outscared. It wasn't this. Man, shut the fuck up. How the fuck you sound trying to make it seem like they the same size? Stupid shit, man. Like, I don't even want stupid ass motherfuckers talking to me. Like, man, don't talk to me, yo. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Yo, he's a little ass motherfucker. This is what I'm saying. He's a little ass motherfucker. Like, you wildin'. I ain't even getting into the you know, to just all the bullshit, you know, the haters, because haters gonna hate. That's just the way it is. Like, loser motherfuckers is just gonna be on their loser shit. It is what it is. Like, I ain't even worried about that. But what I'm saying is, when I evaluate the situation and when I analyze the fight, what I see is the things that work for Canelo at 168 pounds, they didn't work at 175. You thought that you could break down his guard by beating him on the arms. But he's a light heavyweight. He not a super middleweight. This is a light heavyweight. He used to taking big shots from bigger dudes than you. So it ain't going to work. And you really couldn't come up with nothing else because the added size was slowing you down. You a little motherfucker. You add that weight, it's going to affect you. It's added weight. You might get tired a little faster. You might feel a little bit more sluggish, a little slower, because your frame is not to be up there. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers, like, it's so weird that it's so many weight classes in boxing, and these goofball motherfuckers at home on their couch don't understand. Weight classes exist for a reason. Sebastian Fundora is 6'4", but that don't make him a fucking cruiserweight. You know, I'm like, what's wrong with a lot of y'all? Mr. PBC talking greasy in the comments, but will he jump on the panel? Let me see, who's Mr. PBC? Yeah, I'll shoot him a link. I don't know who that is, but okay. Mr. PBC. If he was prone to lose, right? How much money you put on Canelo? Because y'all love saying shit when it's free. Y'all free motherfuckers love saying shit when it's free. If you felt that way, then how much money you put on the shit? Let me guess. Bobby Light says, watch the Bivol Canelo fight 3 times already. Bivol won. The link, bro, I don't want to see 10 people back there. The link is for Mr. PBC. Watch the Bivol Canelo fight 3 times already. Bivol won. But I feel like the fight wasn't as bad as everyone is making it out to be. I give Canelo 4 to 5 rounds the most. Canelo was not being battered. Wait, you said you won on Bivol, then how you saying that you... I don't understand what you're saying. You saying that you felt he was going to lose? I don't understand what he's saying. Is he saying that he thought he was going to lose or he thought he was going to win? I don't know, man. I ain't worried about this shit. Any motherfucker that calls himself Mr. PBC, I'm already kind of not hearing you. Like, why would your name be Mr. PBC? So is there a Mr. Top Rank? Is there a Mr. Golden Boy or Mr. DAZN? That already kind of make me like, what are you doing? Drew want to know, Mr. PBC. Drew want to know if you bought the pay-per-view. If you did, we could get y'all both on here and you could post the receipt. You know, so you could, I don't fucking know. In any event, Canelo is a low ass motherfucker, B. That is not a big dude at all. And he don't got the frame for light heavy. Like, it was already a stretch. Like, you already type pushing it. You know what I mean? Going up there, you already pushing it because you got a low frame. Even though you stocky, you got a low ass frame. All that weight, it might slow you down. You know what I mean? This ain't Kovalev you was fighting, feel me? This is a dude, unbeaten dude in his prime, got speed, got legs, got jab, got shifts, got pivots. This not no bum.
Was good. Can you hear me?
All right, we got Mr. PBC on live on the Chitty Chat. All right, go ahead, Mr. PBC. What's your take on what was you trying to communicate with what you were saying?
Well, what triggered you? Because I'm confused. All I was saying was Bivol was nobody had him winning that fight. Kovalev and Canelo. Kovalev's like 6 foot, Bivol 6 foot. And I just don't see why people are saying that dude's bigger. Like, I get he is bigger, but Canelo made the weight to make the fight.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna put it to you this way. You know, I don't know what videos you have or haven't seen. I don't know, and I don't know if you heard what I said about that fight. But when he picked him, I said I like this fight because to me this is a more competitive fight than the other fights. He could actually lose
That's
this
true.
one. I said, no, let me finish. I said, I like this fight because I feel it's going to be more challenging between the size that he got, right? And the way that he fight, that he not no plotter. He not just going to stand in front of you and win shots. Nah, he going to move and punch. He going to jab. He going to shift. He going to spin off the ropes. It's like, yeah, I like this fight. This is a competitive fight.
Well, what I'm trying to say is I liked it too, but the Charlo was going to be trash to me because skill-wise, Canelo probably would have dominated him. Just like plant, straight up dudes who aren't proven. I mean, Bivol was proven. I couldn't believe Canelo did it. Truthfully, I thought it was a joke at first. But when Canelo chose it, I tried to figure out why did Eddie Reynoso choose it, because that was probably the hardest fight at 175.
I'll say this. I honestly believe that what Eddie thought is what I thought. I don't think they picked that dude because they thought they was going to knock him out. I think what they thought is if we throw more punches in the round than him, if we look busier, we can eke it out. Like if we throw, if we look busy, we ain't even really got to put a dent in him. But if we look busy, we can win the rounds because he not as big a puncher as Better Beef. He not as big a puncher as that dude, and he not characteristically aggressive to where, oh yeah, he coming in to knock motherfuckers out. So
that's what I'm saying too. Like his past fights, he fights kind of like, I mean, you're gonna probably kill me for this, but I feel like he fought kind of like Shakur. All his other fights were boring until he proved himself against the best.
But see, this is my thing, right? And I agree. Look, Shakur is skilled, right? He's skilled, but he not the guy that go in there to knock the motherfucker out. Now, he not that guy, but he's skilled. So it's like if I seen a motherfucker from 2'6", like, yo, I'm gonna move up, I'm gonna fight Shakur, be like, yo, that's some real shit. I like that. You ain't gonna win, but I like that shit. Right now with Bivol, look at all the people that they had. You talking about Charlo? Look, honest to God, I think Canelo would have knocked him out. I still think he'll knock him out.
No, me too. Me too.
Andre, like, look, I fuck with Andre, but I'm being real. I seen the Jack Colquet fight. If you struggle with a dude like that, you definitely gonna struggle with Canelo.
Andre's not proven. Charlo's not proven. Dave Benavidez is proven to the eyes.
To the eye, and this the other thing about David, right? This the main thing for me. David is a weight drain fighter, and you can't tell because of who he fighting. That man is killing himself to make 68. But when you fighting the Kyron Davises of the world, you about to fight David fucking Lemieux, fam. David Lemieux.
Everybody beat him.
Bro, Marco Antonio Rubio beat him. Motherfucking Billy Joe beat him. Gennady beat, like, come on, B. So, of course.
My bad. Sorry. No, I said, didn't Chris something, what's his name? Chris Eubank beat him?
Not Chris was, I believe that Chris was going to fight him about 4 years ago. I remember there was conversations for a fight, but it didn't actually turn into a fight. Let me read this super chat. I got the predictions, but you know what mine is already. I said I got Charlo by way of knockout. I already explained it, that pressure guys, the first time out, they'll surprise you the first time out. But the second time out, pressure guys don't make adjustments. The same way they fought in the first fight is the same way they're going to fight in the second fight.
But I'm curious, why did your panel want me on here? Like, what was the triggering word?
I think that he thought, I think Drew thought that there was a point of contention, but I'm not really hearing a point of contention, to be honest, because my whole thing is this. You go up there, right? Size matters, just in general. And what I see, or at least the point that I was making with what I was saying, was size matters. Yeah, it always matters, bro. It always matters. You know what I mean? You in there with a guy that he took a clean right hand from Joe Smith, fam. That right hand, everybody at 168 go down. Literally. Everybody if Joe hit them the way he hit Dimitri, all of them go down. Dimitri didn't go down. Why? Because he built for it. He built for it.
Who do you think is bigger, though? Kovalev or Bivol?
It's not bigger so much as durability.
We all knew.
Listen,
Kovalev is bigger.
He might seem a little bigger, but what he ain't is durable, and everybody knew that. Everybody knew that. That dude can't take it to the body. That's one. And as soon as he gets hit with a shot that he don't see, he gonna go down. How I know? Before he fought Canelo.
So I bet on Canelo, right? I did him in a parlay, but that fucking little broad Rose done messed up that parlay.
You talking about Rose Namajunas?
Yeah, she messed up my parlay. But I mainly won on Bivol because I'm from the jump believed in Bivol. I think Canelo, this was probably the most dumbest thing he probably ever did.
Nah, because look, no. I like the shit. You know why? I like the shit. It's too many motherfuckers fighting in fights where we all know what's gonna happen.
But that's been happening with Canelo.
Nah. Look, this is the thing, right? He did the undisputed at super middle, right? But it ain't like it took him a million years to do it. He did that shit quick, fit ass, like, yo, I'm gonna run through these cats, I'm gonna do this undisputed. I like it. Why? Yo, you got to see that dude fight 4 times in 10 months. Ain't nobody on that schedule, but he did that.
I can say that, but if Bivol fought the same type of dudes, he would have washed those dudes.
Of course, but he's naturally, bigger than Canelo.
True.
Ain't he? Look, Canelo is a dude that started out as a fucking welterweight. The man is about 5'7", fam. That's a little ass man. That's not a big man. That's a little ass man doing all that. So
but Bivol fought at 165 in the amateurs. I mean, he beat Kevin Smith.
Bro, we can't bring up the amateurs. Sean Porter and Usyk fought as middleweights in the amateurs.
But that was at like 17 and shit, like or 13 or some shit like that.
Yeah, but I don't bring in the amateur shit. It's like, look, Bivol is a career light heavyweight. From the moment I seen this cat, where was he? Light heavyweight. All right, cool. He a light heavyweight. He fought other light heavyweights. You know, he fought Sullivan Barrera. He fought Jean Pascal. He fought Joe Smith Jr. He fought Clarkson at the Andrew Clarkson, whatever that cat's name is.
Umar Salamov, Craig
Fought
Richards.
Omar South. Craig Richards is a big light heavyweight too.
Dude, he's 6'4".
He's a big light heavyweight. Feel me? So it's like, look, that's what he is. He a light heavyweight. I ain't gonna overcomplicate the shit. That man is a fucking light heavyweight. Now Canelo is a little stumpy motherfucker, and this is why I give him his props. That'd have been some other motherfucker from 60, or some other motherfucker from 68. They going out. They going out.
Caleb Plant out.
He going out. He going out.
He would have been gone, bro. Like, I mean, but I'm gonna end it like this because this is your show. I'm gonna end it like this. I started studying Canelo and watching all his fights and who was his biggest fight. And I keep it real, like Triple G. What is his best win? Like Kell Brook, or maybe we could say Murata, or
I would say, look, Triple G is a weird motherfucker, right?
He's a cockroach. He stayed in the division.
Nah, you know, look, because this the shit. Look, Triple G, look, I don't even like talking about him because the shit just get fucking weird, right? Look, this the shit. That man don't got a dope resume. Like, he really don't. He don't. But the shit is, a lot of motherfuckers didn't want to do nothing with him. That's reality. I remember when Peter Quillen had the WBO. I think he wanted like $6 million for that fight. This is way before the Cotto shit, way before the Canelo shit. That man went like $6 mil, fam. He not even getting $6 mil right now. You pricing yourself out of the fight. Then Lou DiBella, you know, Sergio Martinez had the green belt. He had the WBC. Lou said it outright. He said it plain English. I'm not letting him near that monster. That's what he said. So you cool for the payday. You cool letting him fight Cotto. I understand. But I'm just being real. They're like, look, if he didn't get to fight Sergio, Lou didn't want him to fight Sergio, fam. They literally paid him to step aside. All right. He became the mandatory for the green belt. But you fought Cotto. I think I'm just you know what I mean? Billy Joe, you was dicking around. You ended up wanting to fight later, but in the beginning, you was dicking around. You was playing. So by the time you actually want to fight, bro, I'm fighting Canelo. I don't have time for you. We could have been did this. It should have been you instead of Brooke, but you was playing games.
Yeah, then he popped for Andre. But my thing is with a lot of these people who came out of nowhere saying Canelo needs to push the jab. The dude's like made it this far without a jab for a reason. And he has a jab, but it's not persistent enough to beat Bivol.
Yeah, but the other thing is that everybody act like all the fighters got to be built out of the same cookie cutter. Like, look, Roy had a jab, right? But he wasn't a jabber. He might lead off with a lead hook because he was fast enough to do it. Everybody ain't go, you know, like everybody, in other words, everybody ain't going to be the same. They acting like it's a mold or like a cookie cutter that everybody got to fit when, bro, it ain't like that. Like, it's mad different. It's just mad different shit that different motherfuckers do. You know what I mean? Like, look, like the shit right now, you'll notice that the trend now is ambidextrous switch hitters. You got guys that lead southpaw, lead orthodox, right? Did Floyd do that? No, he didn't have to. He didn't need it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. The shit is dope. Like, yeah, if you could use that shit, it's very useful. But not everybody did it. Floyd didn't do it. Manny didn't do it. Oscar didn't do it. Felix Trinidad didn't do it. Hopkins didn't do it.
So you're saying that's a new age wave? Like,
kind of. It's like it has its virtues. It has its virtues. But it's more along the lines of that because you see Tyson Fury doing some switch hitting, or because you see Terrence Crawford doing some switch hitting, that's not the green light that, oh, well, everybody got to switch it. Like, nah, do what works for you. You know, do what works for you.
Because they were trying to say Caleb Plant was going to, like, he was almost as slick as Floyd or some shit like that. They were coming up.
But it's, look, I'm going to tell you like this, and I said this leading up to the fight, like, that man going to get knocked the fuck out. Why? When he's fighting Caleb Truax with his flimsy ass shoulder roll, and I always say his shoulder roll is flimsy. Why? If you was really defending yourself, why is the side of your head marked up like that? What that tell me is that even though you rolling a punch, they still touching you. So you there. Like, if it was a good shoulder roll instead of a flimsy one, your face not gonna be all marked up like that. That show you still getting touched. You know what I mean? So, like, and the other thing is, I'm not a fan of the shoulder roll. I only like it when Floyd did it and when James did it. Anybody else, like, get away, get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that shit, fam. The shoulder roll is not for everybody. Let me just say that right away. It's not for everybody. And not all shoulder rolls was created equal. For example, Teofimo was using that shit in the Nakatani fight, but that's why you having problems. That dude is tall for his weight. He don't need to be right up on you to touch you. So you trying to roll punches from him is just, that's why you was looking crazy with him. Cause he tall as shit for 135. He don't need to be right up on you he can punch you on the top of the head, fam. All fighters are not created equal. All guards are not created equal. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say that it's like a lot of times the fight fans want all the fighters to be the same. They not. And they not gonna be. Drew says, you going live? I'm not going live for that shit. I'm not going. I think I missed a couple of super chats. Let me go back up. I think I missed a few. Yeah, there. Jules, you making a prediction? Yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction, but it's like you already know what I'm gonna say and who I'm going with, just because I've already talked about it a lot of times already. Will says, I firmly believe that most of the trash talkers and Canelo haters never been swung on in their lives or know how to. Yeah, I mean, like that they see that the dude is bigger than that dude, but they don't want to account for the size to be petty. Like, yo, look, Canelo is not a big person, fam. That dude is a low ass man. Like, he is not a big dude, and he was in there with a light heavyweight. So he not gonna break him down the same way he broke down the dudes at 68. It ain't gonna be the same. It's gonna be harder. But I ain't gonna knock him for trying though. Not gonna lie, leading to the Canelo Plant fight, Plant became. Yo, I just know he going in right now, B. Caleb is not having it on Twitter, B. He is mad than a motherfucker right now. Some cat called Ray Jackson was talking slick, and he is not having it. I don't blame him though. I don't talk greasy to people on the shit. Feel me? The dude was talking greasy to him. Like, yo, why you talking greasy to him, B? It's a difference between having an opinion and imparting an opinion. And what I seen was the dude. He was talking greasy to him. Like, all right, B, you brought that shit on yourself. Yeah, already. Yeah, let me address this. I talked about that fight. If you didn't catch it, right? For me, this is how I feel about that fight. Brian Castano against Jermel Charlo. It's like, yeah, you surprised them at first with the pressure, but in the second fight, pressure fighters really don't change much. They gonna do the same shit in the second fight that they do in the first fight. For an example of that, Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. Derek is a pressure fighter. Joseph is a boxer puncher. Joseph made the adjustments in the second fight. What he do? He started throwing more uppercuts because he see that Derek come in low. He come in bending at the waist, so he there for the uppercut. And as soon as he made that adjustment, I'm going to throw more uppercuts. I'm going to try to catch him coming in. That made all the difference. So when I look at Jermel and I look at Brian, it's the same dynamic. Pressure fighter, boxer, puncher. Brian gonna do the same shit with Lara, the same shit he did with Michael Sorrow, gonna be the same shit he do with Jermel Charles. It's literally gonna be the same shit, no adjustments. Jermel is more capable of making adjustments, and I think that he probably gonna sleep him this time because we know he could hurt him. They hurt each other. They both hurt each other in the first fight. They both hurt each other, so we know that they could hurt each other. But it's gonna come down to who can make adjustments. When I had Tim Bradley on here, he said the adjustment he thinks Jermel gonna make is he gonna throw more. He'll throw more punches because he knows he can hurt the guy. And I'm like, and I agree with that. Like, yeah, like he don't gotta do nothing major. You just don't let him overwhelm you. You know, don't let him crowd you and overwhelm you. Fight his ass off. Now, when it come to Ennis and Clayton, I don't have a prediction for that. I'm just watching that because I want to see Ennis is finally fighting somebody that look like they could fight back or at least could offset his size and power. So I'm just going to watch that. I'm just watching that. Like I want to see now you finally in there with an unbeaten guy. He's a former Olympian. He represented Canada in the Olympics. And we going to see if you could keep looking how you look with Dulorme with this cat. That's my thing. Like some fights, it ain't even about making a prediction. Some fights you really gotta find out if the dude. Some fights is for you to find out if the dude is what everybody's saying he is. And I'm like, look, if he could do to Castillo what he did to Sergey and what he did to Delorme, then that means more because Castillo is an unbeaten fighter. To me, he beat Sergey Lipinets, but the judges didn't feel that way. Whatever, they ruled it a draw. So if you could do to Castillo what you did to them other guys, then I'm gonna know, yeah, that shit is for real. That shit, all that shit is for real. Kovalev at cruiserweight, man, he probably gonna get the shit beat out of him. If he don't get the shit beat out of him this weekend, it's coming. No, no, no. Motherfucking Ennis fought Dulorme. Ennis fought Dulorme. Castillo fought Lipinets. Man, Chavez Jr., if he ain't retired, he need to. Canelo told he's aiming for light heavyweight undisputed. Look where he came from. If it's so easy, why nobody else trying? I mean, yeah, like it's common sense questions. If you got time to be fighting people like Brandon Adams and shit like that, right? Motherfuckers would rather see you fight a light heavyweight than that shit. That's the motherfucking frogs. It's frogs out here making mad noise. I just talked about that fight, country. Well, real shit. Bro, I don't even know. I don't even know about that fight. Yeah, I heard they having a fight. I think they about to have a fight in Ghana. I think it is. They said they gonna do that shit. I don't even know, B. What weight is they fighting at? 35? I think Zerto could get stopped by Bivol. When I think about that fight, I feel like it's gonna look like the Lennon Castillo fight. He just gonna skate to a points decision because he not gonna mix it up with Zerto. That's just not what he do. He'll fight him off if he have to, but it'll probably look like the Castillo fight and the Smith fight. It'll probably look like that. Only real difference is Zerto was southpaw for whatever that shit is worth. Somebody told me an interesting story about Zerto and Bivol that took place a couple of years ago. They told me that Bivol had come down for some sparring over there in, I believe, San Diego. This was years ago. This is somebody sent me a story with a picture. They said that Zerto was beating the shit out of him. That's what they said. And I'm like, for all I know, that shit is true. Like I ain't even gonna question it. But the thing is, that was a couple of years ago, and that was sparring. A lot of shit happens in sparring. Klitschko knocked down Wilder in sparring. White knocked down Fury in sparring. All that cool shit. You know what I mean? Sparring. I don't go by that. And they told me that Zerto was lighting them up in sparring. Ultimately, if they fight, right? If they fight at the whatever, I got Bivol on points. I feel like that fight gonna look like the Castillo fight. That's kind of what I see. Like it's probably gonna be like the Castillo fight. Castillo was a big, solid guy. When Bivol fought him, he had never been stopped. Nobody had never knocked him out. He was a durable guy. Big, slow guy, kind of like Zerto. Zerto not really slow, but he damn sure ain't fast. Kind of like that. I feel like that fight would look like that fight. It's fortunate for Canelo that Bivol beat him the way he did. Otherwise, we would have seen Canelo stretched out on the canvas. Yeah, but you also got to say that Canelo ain't get stretched because he got defense. Like, if that would have been any other super middleweight or any other middleweight, they are getting stretched. If he ain't get stretched, it's because he slipped, weaved, rolled the punches, got under the punches, blocked some of them shits. Motherfuckers be exaggerating. He lost the fight, but his face was clean after the fight. So was Bivol's. You know what I mean? He was like, if you ain't see that, like I said, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you ain't see that he's slipping and riding punches, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, watch it again. I don't know. Angling off that torso and staying off the center is what saved him, because if it wasn't for that, yeah, maybe he would have got stopped. But he got defense. Y'all acting like that dude was bleeding or some shit. He wasn't bleeding. He wasn't even cut. Exactly. That's the only thing that got marked up was Bivol's arms, but he could take it. And he, according to Bivol, he knew that he was going to do that. According to Bivol, he knew that, yo, this dude is going to punch me in my arms. Canelo timing was off every time. He could put in hands down thinking he was out of danger. Clown's acting weird, like his face ended up, yeah, pound for pound. Like, they had like, and I don't got time for that childish ass shit. Like, bro, no, that he wasn't no bloody mess after the fight, right? He didn't have no huge cuss. He wasn't all like, bro, the dude went to the club after the fight. Come on now. He literally went to the club after the fight. Not the hospital, the club. You think it was the vegan diet? Possibly. A lot of people, I'm not saying I believe that shit, but I know a lot of people saying that shit. I see a lot of people saying that shit. Maybe it's something to it. I don't know. I'm not a dietitian, so I really don't know. But I see a lot of people, like Joe Rogan said that shit. Joe Rogan's like, yo, that vegan diet, B, that shit is not good for performance. Like, I don't know. Like, I ain't a vegan, so I wouldn't know. I don't know what that shit, you know, I don't know what effect that could have on. Only thing I heard about vegans is that they fart a lot. That's all I ever heard. They're like, yo, if all you gonna eat is rabbit food, you're gonna be farting a lot. Imagine if Canelo wins the rematch. Does he stay at light heavy? I don't know, man. I don't know. I look forward to finding out. My whole shit is I look forward to finding out. That's why we watch the fights. And that, even though I'm not happy that he lost, like, nah, I'm not happy that he lost, but I said, this is a better fight than the other fights that's out there, because he could lose this one. Like, this one is more competitive than the other fights. If it's Charlo, man, Charlo gonna get stopped, fam. Montiel had you looking crazy. Folks telling me that Benavidez is more experienced. What? I've been, yo, who's, since you put me up on game that Benavidez best, yeah, fam, like, that's like, yo, look, Benavidez best win is Anthony Durrell. Now, I want y'all to go back and watch Anthony Durrell with Abni Yildirim. It's levels, B. It's levels. If he was really, my whole shit with David is, if he was really a monster, why he not moving like a monster? You not moving like no monster. Nah, you fighting David Lemieux, fam. David Lemieux. Because you a monster. Come on, B. You fighting the dude, Billy. Billy outclassed that dude. We supposed to look, this is the shit that killed me. They don't want to give Canelo no credit for Billy, right? But Billy already beat the dude that you about to fight. He been did that. Y'all don't give Canelo no credit for no Golovkin, and y'all don't give Golovkin no credit. But y'all about to give David credit for a dude Golovkin beat. Oh, David a monster. He a monster. For fighting a dude Golovkin beat 7 years ago. Come on. tag you on Twitter, they expose themselves. I dig it. Canelo had a real boxing manager. He would have took the easy money. Yo, that's a fair point. I can't even lie. That's a fair point that I said, look, I tell you no lies. Go to the videos I did. I said they're like, yo, I thought he was going to pick Charlo because Charlo easy work. Easy work. That's nothing. Karbov had him looking crazy. You got to gift Karbov. He was looking crazy with Montiel. Shit, I thought he was going to go with Charlo. I said that too, Ken KO. They're like, don't tell me that he a monster and he get caught with his chin out there fucking around with Ronald Gavril. You needed 2 fights to beat that dude one time decisively. Not no monster. Skill for skill, he's a crude slugger with no boxing skills. He's a plotter and no jab. I don't know if he talking about Canelo or if he talking about David. I don't even know. Canelo best defends super middleweight, then fight light heavyweight undisputed winner. If Bivol beats Canelo again, super middleweight, then undisputed at light heavyweight, if it would have happened that way. Are we not glad as... Yeah, bro, that's what I'm talking about, big boy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, yo, I ain't even mad at him. He chose to fight a big dude that could box. Ain't nothing wrong with that. How am I gonna be mad at that? Canelo is smart enough to know what's the easiest route. He just truly can't. Yeah, yeah. Yo, I swear to God, on God, I said all that. That I'm like, man, if he was going the easy route, he would have fought Charlo. That's the easy route. That would have been the easy route. And I said, look, if he fight Charlo, if he fight David, if he fight Andre, if he fight Bivol, I'm okay with all of that. I'm cool with all of that. I'm fine with all of that. That's cool. All of it is fine. So when he picked Bivol, I was like, oh, all right. Like you really looking for a fight. I ain't mad at that. The pound for pound number one being able to lose means the sport is healthy. Canelo can probably make 160 if he wants to, yeah, but probably not comfortably. You know what I mean? Like, probably not comfortably. For Canelo, the smart rematch would be fighting Bivol after he faces the better Beef Smith winner. Yeah, like the way to do it, if it's me, right? If I'm the manager, if I was the manager, I say, look, we going to go beat the shit out of Gennady. We going to go to the body. We going to get him out of here, right? Then we going to stay here for one more fight. Maybe we do Benavidez. Maybe we do that because that dude is already weight drained. The only reason that he don't be looking weight drained, right, when he fight is because he don't fight shit. Like, he don't fight shit, bro. You're not fighting the people that is really, like, really, really, really good fighters. Like, nothing to get, like, it ain't about knocking nobody, in other words, right? But you don't fight the elite dudes. Like, nah, you don't. You don't. Your promoter was the one that delayed the Caleb Plant fight. It's on camera. It ain't some shit that I'm saying that I made up. The shit is on camera. Y'all was on the same side of the street. Y'all both had belts. Canelo wasn't even starting that undisputed shit yet. And what your promoter said? No, we want to wait two fights, 3 fights, and then we do the pay-per-view. That's the fuck he said. Why would you wait? If you would have did that fight, Canelo would have had to come see you. Why? Because you beat Caleb, and then you'll have 2 belts, right? Nah, your promoter wanted to wait. So while y'all was waiting, you blew the wait. What the fuck? Fat Canelo ain't no PBC road chump. Yeah, B. You know what I mean? Like, they just... Look, man, at the end of the day, the people celebrating now, and I don't even want to make this live about that because I already talked about all that hating ass shit. Like, look, fam, that dude could go up there and lose to Bivol. That don't make none of them other cats look better. It make them look worse because he's smaller than them, but he willing to do it. Why they not? Y'all big for nothing. You 6'1", he's 6'2", he's 6'3", and y'all don't want to go to light heavyweight. The same guys that talking up Charlo are the same guys that was saying Canelo was cherry. Literally, it's the same guys, fam. Literally, it's the same guys. It's like I like. Ain't look. This is the main shit. It don't make sense to talk to people like that. Like, what am I talking to you for, fam? You say anything like a 12-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, why would you have a discussion or you say anything, fam? I seen a dude that literally picked Caleb Plant to beat Canelo so that after the fight, he could say that Plant is like, bro, you fucking picked Plant to beat him, bro. So that when you wrong and you salty, oh, now he trash. Shut up. I don't got time for that shit. Like, oh, wishy-washy ass motherfuckers. Motherfuckers already knew Bivol ain't no bitch and this ain't gonna be easy. While other people was calling him a cherry, we here on this channel said, this is not gonna be easy. Alright? This is not Smith, this ain't none of that. Alright? This ain't no cherry. The cherry would have been Cherry Charlo. If you want to pick a cherry, you fight Charlo. That would have been the cherry. Not sure. Not sure. Because it's not clear why he looks slow, why he looks sluggish. I say, let's just say, and I'm not even pushing for them to have a rematch at 68 because I think doing a rematch at 68 is kind of pointless. It's not for a light heavyweight title, so it's kind of pointless. The whole reason you was fighting that dude was for the WBA at light heavyweight. So it's like the only difference, I think, at 68 as opposed to 75, it's a better weight for Canelo, so it won't wear on his gas tank as much. He can throw more punches, right? Maybe Dimitri's weight drained. Maybe. I wouldn't count on that, to be honest with you, because he's been saying it for a long time that he can make 68. So I don't think he would be weight drained. But the main difference I see with a fight at 68 as opposed to 75 is Canelo won't be carrying as much weight. He may not tire as quickly. He'll feel better, more energetic, throw more punches. Because to me, one of the things I notice is he not punching like that. Like, he really not letting them go the way he normally let them go. And he not angling off enough. Like, I was expecting something. I was expecting it to look like the Jacobs fight, the way he jabbing and Canelo slipping all of that, getting around. That's what I thought it might look like. And what I saw is, he looks slow at the 4 rounds. He looked a little tired, a little sluggish. It looked like when he get hit, it's bothering him when he do get hit. So it's like, I don't know that 68 would even really be a difference. I don't really know. Country said question is, can Bivol absorb Benavidez shots? If he could land clean, Benavidez hits harder than Canelo. Obviously, Bivol Zerto should be good. Being real with you, Country, the main shit is when do they fight? Because it ain't now. If we don't know nothing, we know that they ain't about to fight. Benavidez about to fight Joe. What if the Joe fight ends up being a war? Kind of war, maybe it takes something out of Benavidez. Or what if he killed Joe quick, but then he fight Yard after that, and they have a war? This is the shit that I'm thinking about. They're like, look, unless Bob gonna move the winner of that fight straight into Bivol, motherfucking Benavidez might go through some shit before he even fight Bivol. He might go through some shit. And that man is 37 going on 38 years old. And I said it in the last video I did. Power is the last thing to go. But the legs are the first. The legs are the first thing to go. And if you a half step off, that half step, that's how he can hit you with shit coming in. Because you a half step off. You slower. You just a little slower. But slow enough that he can catch you coming in. He got the power. I think he got the power to knock damn near anybody out at 175. Damn near anybody. But do you got the legs to stay on top of this cat? Because you going to need him. He gonna move. He gonna spin off the ropes. He gonna pivot. He gonna shift. You gotta catch him. Andre said it best. He beating dudes that meet him there. Now, can you beat a dude that is not gonna meet you there? That he gonna move away, set you up, and try to walk you into some shit? Can you do that? Brown tried it, but Brown don't got a good chin, and we knew that going in. Brown tried it. But after a while, Brown was just moving like, bro, you're not even punching no more. Now you just moving because you don't want to get hit. You're not even really punching no more. Like, we already knew that, like, yo, Brown, he could box. He a good southpaw, come from a good amateur pedigree. He Olympian and all that, but he don't really take a good punch. He don't. Like, we knew that from the Kalajic fight. Like, we knew that from the Pascal fight. That dude don't take a good punch. So, now, just getting back to this pound for pound list, which is initially why we went, why I went live, because people kept asking me about it. Juan Francisco Estrada is not on my list. Vasyl Lomachenko is not on my list. Tyson Fury is a career heavyweight. He is not on my list. There is no reason for Usyk to be ranked behind so many people. Most people really don't understand pound for pound. The people that make these articles, that make these lists, they don't really understand the concept that the most literal incarnation of a pound for pound fighter today is literally Alexander Usyk. The question is, if this smaller fighter with the same size as a heavyweight, does he have the skills to win? Usyk literally answered that question. Where everybody else is figurative, where Crawford is figurative, he's never going to campaign as a heavyweight. Where everybody else is figurative, but where Usyk is literal. And for him to not get that consideration, like, yo, y'all really got this cat at what, number 6? That's fucking crazy. But y'all supposed to be pundits, analysts. All right? That's your analysis. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that even if you don't, I'll put it like this. Even if you have Crawford at number 1, which I said, I wouldn't argue with that, because there's an argument for Bud too. There is actually a good argument for Bud, so I wouldn't argue with that. But I'm saying that Usyk should not be 5 or 6. He should at minimum be 2. He should not be lower than 2. That makes no fucking sense. Fury was never no fucking undisputed champion, but y'all pretending that he was, even though he held them belts at different times. You held 3 in 2015 and you dropped all of them in 2016. You came back and won 1. You didn't win all 4. You came back and won 1. You not undisputed. You never was. Bud should take out Canelo. They both the same height to be number 1. Pound for pound is based on the heavyweight division. Literally. When they made that shit all those years ago, the context of the conversation was because the heavyweights back then was the more popular fighters. They were always more popular than the smaller fighters. So what they did was they said, look, even though these smaller fighters is not as popular, some of them are actually really good. Some of them are more skilled than these heavyweights. Enter Mr. Sugar Ray Robinson, who was believed to be a more skilled, high-quality fighter than many heavyweights, even though he was not a heavyweight. But he was still thought of as a more skilled fighter than them. That's what that shit is based on. That if you had a Sugar Ray Robinson that was a heavyweight, he would beat all the other heavyweights. That's literally where that shit comes from. If they were all the same size, who would win? That's why you even asked that fucking question. That's where the question comes from. That if you had like a Crawford, a 230, 240 pound Crawford in there with Tyson Fury, based on the skills that Crawford showed you, who would win a fight? Fucking Crawford. Easy. That's what the whole pound for pound shit is based on. That whole conversation, that whole shit is all about comparing the skills of the smaller fighter to the bigger fighter. That's what the shit is all, really the heavyweight. That's what the whole shit is about. That, okay, let's say the number one pound for pound fighter is Crawford. Bang. Does Crawford have more skills than Fury? Yeah. Yeah. So if you had a Crawford that was a heavyweight, that he Crawford, all the Crawford shit, the switch hitting, the dog, the counters, the shift, all the Crawford shit, but at heavyweight, fighting like that, is he more skilled than Fury? Yeah, that's the easy answer, because that's what you evaluating. You already know that in real life, without the list, without the conversation, the heavyweight beats all of them. He beats all the fighters on the list. Why? Because he's bigger. Not because he's better, because he's bigger. So take away the size and break it down in skill. Does he throw a better jab? Does he feint better? Does he pivot? Does he shift better? Does he move his head, stay off center? That's really what the shit is. But most people don't know that because they think it's a list for you to rate who you like. I dig it, country. That's literally what pound for pound is. Skill without weight. What you're attempting to say is basically that 147 pounds of Crawford is better than 200 pounds of this guy or that guy. That there's more skill in 147 pounds of Crawford than there is in 200 pounds of Sergey Kuzmin. That's what you really saying. That even though he a welterweight and even though he's smaller, overall, he's still a better fighter than this guy. That's what you're saying. That's literally why you say pound for pound. That 147 pounds of gold is worth more than 200 pounds of dog shit. That's literally, that's the comparison. That's basically what it is. That if I got, I got Chocolatito, skilled fighter, super skilled, right? 115 pounds of Chocolatito is more skilled than, say, 147 pounds of Blair Cobbs, 147 pounds of David Avanesian. You know what I mean? That's more or less what you're saying. That even though Chocolatito is smaller, much smaller, he's still more skilled. So it's more skill in his 115 pounds than it is in 147 pounds of Black Cobbs. That's really what you're saying. Feel me? Like you look at Inouye, a bantamweight. What you're saying is in Inouye, a 3-division champion, there is more skill in his 118 pounds than what you see in Ryota Murata at 160 pounds. That yes, Ryota Murata is bigger, but not better. That's really what it is. And that's why I'm like, the concept is lost on the so-called analysts because they think it's a popularity contest. They literally don't know how to make a list. But they get paid to do the shit. Or to pay me to do the motherfucking shit. But I am getting paid. Just saying. It's all opinionated. Reality is the heavyweights reign, but doesn't guarantee a small guy will beat the higher up if he is pound for pound. We just saw that with Bivol beat Canelo. It's not mythical because skill is measurable. There's nothing mythical about a lazy jab and a proper jab. There's nothing mythical about feinting and disguising your punches. What's mythical is thinking that, oh, it's a guy out there that can never, ever, 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 ever be beat. That's mythical. And don't bring up Floyd because Floyd made out like a bandit. He retired. If you stick around long enough, they'll get you. But you got away before they could get you. 2 times. 2 times. It's other motherfuckers, they don't take a periodic retirement. You did. You benefited from it, and that's cool, but we know why you did that. The fact so many don't include he knew, he tells me all I need to know about. Yeah, for real. For real. Skills are not ethereal. You go to a boxing gym and you work on your jab, you know what you're trying to do. You're trying to throw a proper jab. Shoot the jab, get the hand back, protect that side of your face. All the drills you do, all the different things you work on, those are all measurable skills. Staying off center, moving your head, slipping punches, riding punches, rolling punches. Those are all measurable skills. It's not mythical. It's not ethereal. Those are skills you can measure. So it's not mythical. Yeah, you can have a fighter that is more skilled than a heavyweight, even though he's smaller. Yeah, you can. It's not mythical. Skill and size, fam. Skill and size. Now, if you more comfortable telling yourself that, then tell yourself that. I don't know why you telling me that. It was skill and size. You got a guy who knows how to use his size because he's skilled. I ain't just going to stand here for you to hit me. I ain't just going to stand on my whole foot the whole fight and just trade with you and make your job easy. No, I'm going to move. I'm going to move. Yeah, he'd be all right, man. I want to know who this person is. I want to know who that is. But yeah, yo, he'll be all right. He'll be back. I don't think nothing of it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you win some, you lose some. You know, that's a part of being great. You win some, you lose some. It be like that. When Manny lost to Marquez, they thought it was over for Manny. Who would have figured that he'd be a two-time champion after that? Really a three-time champion. Who would have figured? When he got knocked out by Marquez in the fourth fight, nobody. They thought it was over for him. They thought like it's a wrap. Pick your favorite fighter. He needs Julius to analyze the fight and tell him what to do between rounds. Prove me wrong. If Nonito beats the monster, he's a bad motherfucker. That's that, man. No, I don't think that, Mr. PBC. I don't think that. I don't think it's time for a change. It's a hiccup. It's a setback. Those are gonna happen, man. Like sometimes, motherfucker just. I don't know. It's too drastic to say that. They're like, yo, because you lost one fight, bro. You did mad better against him than a lot of other people would have did. You know what I mean? You change trainers. You're not gonna have the rapport with somebody else that you got with this cat. You made a mistake, and that's cool. But I don't know. I don't look at that like that. Like, yeah, it's time for. I don't look at it like that. Like, nah, I wouldn't say that because a lot of other dudes, they wouldn't have done as well as he did. They would not have like, nah. A lot of other dudes, they'd have got stretch. A lot of little other 5'7" motherfuckers, they'd have got stretch. Canelo is not going anywhere. He did better than Smith. Yeah, like he did all right. Like, I don't know. Like, look, I can't. It's like boxing is weird right now. Like, yeah, he lost. Like, I think he clearly lost, but he ain't lose like Wilder lost to Fury. He ain't wasn't that bad. Like, yeah, he lost the fight, but he went to the club after that. Wilder went to the hospital both times. I think it's between Crawford and Usyk right now. The ESPN panel is a joke. You always get the same guys like Pilates cheerleading. You can see exactly how they vote in those pound for pound. Yeah, you can. Real rap. You can. I mean, look, I like Vasyl Lomachenko. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a fanboy, but I'm not an extremist. I think he's a great fighter. But why is he still there, fam? Like, what? Why is he still there? Juan Francisco Estrada has not fought in over a year. Why is he still there? Even BoxRec says he's inactive. Why is he still there? Fury announced his retirement, didn't he? Didn't he? You ain't even supposed to put a heavyweight on the pound for pound list anyway. Why is he there? Yeah, Mike Copinger is Mike Copinger, B. I don't even know what to say about that shit. He is just, I don't even know what to say about that shit. Anyway, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's getting late. I'm old. I'm going to sleep. Tune into the next episode of The Relay. And I am going to go live for Saturday's fights. I'm going to go live. I'm going to have panelists and all of that, just same as usual. I only went live because I wanted to address this pound for pound thing that everybody was asking me about. That look, in a nutshell, I don't keep up with their list. I don't take issue with their list because I don't even fucking keep up with it. Like, to me, it never makes sense. So I don't keep up with it. Not theirs, not Rings, not transnationals, a boxer. I only focus on my list because it's the only one that makes sense for me. And I advise that, if you guys don't like their list, don't even worry about their shit. Make your own list and focus on that. Because I'm like, look, they list, it never made sense. It's not gonna make sense. And it's every time they update it, it's always gonna be some, like, bro, y'all really disrespecting Usyk at this point. Y'all really just violating him, like, fuck him, right? I'll holler at y'all, man.